grabbed a spoon. I'm just going to use the end of it. Just stirring that up into the warm water. Delicious. All right, the next thing I'm going to do, since I already cut my carrots off screen because that's loud and it takes a while, I'm going to grate some more ginger. So, I'm new to this grater, and honestly, I don't love it. So I might cut this into chunks. Oh no, it's coming out nicely. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this. The ginger's pretty strong, so maybe I'll do a little bit more, and then I haven't ever flavored these before, so I thought this would be fun. Okay, because I have a weird grater, I'm actually just gonna put it in there and try and get the ginger off, and then I've got a few little chunks here. So this salty water mixture is going to become your brine. Now brine is just a fancy word for salt water that has bacteria in it. And you might be thinking, where are we going to get this bacteria? The bacteria already lives on the food, which is great. It's going to be living on the natural foods. Now, non-natural foods like processed foods aren't really going to have that good bacteria. That's why one of the reasons it's so important to be eating natural foods that come straight from the earth, like vegetables. Okay, I'm going to be very staring with this. I'm a little nervous. I use this I make another fermented thing called fire cider, and it's exactly as it sounds. It's this really intense, fiery drink, and I put these in there, and it feels like lava going down your throat, but it's super good for your immune system. All right. I think I'm gonna we are doing this together, team. Try and scrape this off best I can. All right, that's definitely gingery. I think I put enough in. All right, next. So if you are grating ginger and you have a normal grater, you don't have to put it in that water like I did. I mean, you can, it's no big deal, but I just didn't know how else to get it off of my grater. Okay, next thing you're gonna do is get your empty jar and you're gonna start plopping your carrots in, all right? Now, this is where it's gonna get kind of particular. You wanna make sure that you're kind of jiggling it so that there's no big pockets for air to be trapped. If there's air in it, you're gonna have an issue with your fermentation. So you're gonna pop them in or drop them on the ground. And just keep plopping them in. At this point, I might pop a couple of these little guys in there. They make me nervous even though I know they're gonna be delicious. Keep putting my carrots in. Oh, you know what? I think 4 carrots. Thought it was gonna be too many, but I think it's perfect. So I actually want it about 1 inch from the top, which is great. So we've got about 1 inch from the top there. All right, you see that? Now what I'm gonna do is take my my warm water, salt, brine, and I'm gonna pour it in. Now this is very, very, very important. You need to make sure that your brine is covering all of your carrots. You don't want any carrots floating at the top. And now I have those little peppers floating at the top, so I have a couple ideas of what I might do with that. The brine needs to cover all of the thing you're fermenting. If it's carrots, if it's cabbage, if it's pickle or cucumbers, because without the brine covering the top, you might get some rotting. So this is going to prevent that. So I'm actually going to put in a little bit more. So those are all covered. This is great. The carrots sitting underneath the brine are not going to be exposed to that rotting. Now, a couple things might happen. One, if you get a film, you might get like a funky little film on the top of this. Almost looks like goo or something. If it's white, that's fine. You're good to go. If it turns a different color, something went wrong. So you don't want to eat that. But a little bit of white film on the top is fine. It's probably just bacteria, which shows that this is going to be good. So then what you're going to do, you have two options. I said to grab one of these, but if for some reason you don't have that, you can either do, there's three options for your covering. Got to cover it somehow because you don't want things getting in it. So here are your options. One is a cloth over the top with a rubber band. Ta-da! Your second option is the lid that came with the jar. Now, with that option though, you're gonna have to burp it every day. Now, when I say burp it, I really mean burp it. So you're gonna have to open it up and air might burp out. Sometimes it sounds funny. I actually did this once, and I must have timed it with a full moon because the full moon brought this water, and I swear to you, and I did it with purple cabbage, and I had purple cabbage water just everywhere, all over my kitchen, because it came out the top. So you've got to loosen the top, let out the air, and put it back on every single day, or else this might explode with the expanding air. So the third option is to buy a fancy canning jar lid, which you totally could do if you want to do that. If you're going to get serious about canning or about fermenting, by all means, go for it. Basically, it's going to have to breathe somehow because bacteria respirate just like we do. Now, respiration is a fancy word for breathing. They breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. So it's going to bubble. You might see bubbles during the time it's fermenting. You might hear things. If you've got that lid, you've got to burp it every day. So basically, once you've got this, you're done for a couple days. Leave it on the counter. If you don't want juice everywhere and there's a chance things might happen, I mean, who knows? You can pop it on a plate or pop it on a towel. And basically, you leave it at room temperature for 5 days. Check it on day 5, taste a piece of carrot. If it's sweet and salty and maybe with those yummy herbs and spices you put in and it's delicious, great, pop it in the fridge. And from there, the fermentation process will slow down and you can enjoy this for weeks and months to come. As long as the carrots are under the brine, you're good to go. If day 5 comes around and it's not to your liking, it's maybe too salty or it doesn't have that flavor yet, give it a couple extra days. All right, I am really eager to know if any of you try this and really eager to know if you like it if you try it. Sauerkraut is one of those things in our family that we just love, and my 3-year-old goes nuts for it. So it's super, super good for you, and it's a food that is ancient. This technique is absolutely ancient, and I feel like it connects you to not only the earth, but it connects us to ancient ways of living and being. But I especially love that it connects us to our body and helps our body, the brain-gut connection just thrive. All right, let me know if you try it.